How chivalrous actions like generosity and kindness build romance. I'm sure we all know this song, Can Buy Me Love. And really, you can't buy love, but it would be so much more easier if, for example, a man saw a woman he finds physically attractive, of the right age, etc., and he simply buys her a diamond ring and voila, he has a girl of his dreams next to him. Or, for example, a woman sees a man who, in her opinion, is tall and handsome enough, and she buys him a ring, or she simply tells him that, oh, I like you, get me a ring and we'll be happy together. Of course, in real life it doesn't work like that. You can't buy love. But what can you buy with money when it comes to love and romance? First, you can buy time. And this is huge already because we all feel the lack of time. We don't have enough time very often to eat properly, to sleep enough hours, to meet with friends, to read a book, to go to gym. We are busy. So how can you save time? How can you buy time? You can hire a matchmaker or a dating coach. And a matchmaker will get you dates, and now you won't need to invest hours into texting and getting these dates on apps. And we all know how frustrating it can be. And also a professional matchmaker and a dating coach can share with you necessary tips and advice and honest feedback. And you can implement these tips and advice into your dating strategy and therefore save time. Second, you can buy extra romance. How come? For example, you can take your date to a nicer place and the setting will be better. You can buy her exotic flowers, and flowers can really change a boring dinner or a boring lunch and turn it into a real date, because now it's not just two people eating together. They have a date and it feels different. You can order flowers to her office, you can send her butterflies, balloons. Money can expand your area of search. If you can afford to travel, you don't have to stick just to your own zip code. You can board the plane and fly to meet her in Barcelona, Prague or München, and the whole setting will be more romantic and it will be really different, because now you can leave your work behind and you can really invest these 2 or 3 days into walking down these new streets with a beautiful lady who speaks with an exotic accent. And of course, this will be an additional boost of romance, and this acquaintance will be so much more different than your ordinary Tinder dates that you take to the same bar or to the same coffee shop in your area. But of course, just having money doesn't automatically make you kind, generous or romantic. What can be more romantic than showing your date your sincere interest? When you come to the date with the lady and you actually actively listen to what she says to you, and you don't just wait till she pauses and then you will jump in with your own story, or you will ask another question. In sake of asking question, you really want her to continue talking. You feel genuinely curious what she's saying to you and you don't want her to stop. And when you ask her a question, you really wait for the answer. I will share a story with you from my own love life, and you know I don't do it often. Me and my husband have been together for almost 10 years now, and this story, it took place, I believe we have been together for about 2 months. He was still courting me, so I was not his fiancé or anything, and one day, unfortunately, I got not just 1 but 2 flat tires. And I called him and I have asked for help, and to be honest, I have expected him to send a driver to help me, because my husband, he is a busy business person and his time is truly valuable because so many people depend on his decisions. So I didn't expect him to come in person to save me. But he did show up in person, and he asked me if I had a spare. I said that yes, but just 1. So he shows up in person, takes off his fancy jacket, and in his fancy dress pants he kneels next to my small Nissan and he starts fixing the first tire. Unfortunately, the second tire was nasty because somebody has cut my tires. I don't know why, and I was running late to shoot a video with Sasha, and my husband, he just tossed me his car keys and he said that go to the shooting, I will fix this. And you know what? It was the sexiest and most romantic scene I have ever heard. And I knew back then that he was really busy and he had to cancel some plans to come and rescue me. And to be honest, if he simply sent the driver to save me from that situation, I would still be grateful, but he has showed up in person. I think that was the first moment when I have realized that I wanted to marry that guy. So what he did in that situation, it was not just kind, it was really generous, because he has offered me something truly valuable, his time. I will share another story with you, this time about our clients. We have introduced our male client, he was 50 at the time, to a lady, she was 43, and they have been dating for about 6 months, and they have decided it was time for him to meet her son, who was 12 at that moment. And we have encouraged our client to talk to his girlfriend and to get more information about her son, his interests, his preferences, and it turned out that the boy was obsessed with spaceships and he also loved Lego. So our client borrowed a huge Lego set, and it was a spaceship, of course. And later our female client was sharing with us that for 5 hours and a half her boyfriend was helping her son to put together that spaceship. She said that it was almost 10 p.m. and they were not done, and then her boyfriend told that, you know what, I will come up tomorrow and I will help you finish it, and he did that. She said that the next morning when he showed up and he and her son were working on the spaceship and she was looking at this picture, she has realized that this was the man of her dreams. She wanted to marry him. She wanted to make this man happy because he tried so hard to please her. Of course, he was doing it for his girlfriend because he loved her and he wanted to make her feel happier. This couple is still happily married, and the boy from the story, he has graduated from college and he has moved out, but his mother and his stepfather, they're still happy together. And I would say maybe 5 or 6 years into their marriage, our ex-client was telling me another story. Like, his wife, she loves cooking, and she took some classes to be able to cook this fancy sushi at home, and he was boasting in the office that his wife cooked sushi and they were like way more delicious than sushi at the restaurant. And his colleagues were telling that no way, like homemade sushi, they can't be that good because you can't get all the ingredients, so no way, you're just, well, you're not telling the truth. And later on, he was telling his wife that, you know what, they didn't believe me. I was telling them how good you can cook sushi, how delicious they were. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, our ex-client had his birthday. And his wife told him that, you know what, I will cook something for you so that you bring it to the office with you. And he said that, you know what, it's not how we celebrate it in the office, because usually like your friends at work buy you a cake or you take out some of your friends. She said that you are married to a Ukrainian woman, so you can do it Ukrainian style. You bring the food with you, you bring the cake, and you treat your colleagues with this food. And she has spent the whole evening cooking 70 rolls, like rolls that you cut later into 6 to 7 pieces. And she bought all the plates, all the chopsticks. She has packed for him 2 special knives and instructions how to cut those rolls right in the office so that they were fresh. And you know what? He brought everything his wife has packed for him, including the instructions, the knives, how to do it. And his colleague said that you were right, like this is deliriously good. And he said that most of men were telling him like, you're so lucky. You're so lucky to have this woman. You're so lucky to have a wife like that who really cares about you. You can tell me right now that these stories and these examples are about couples who have been together for some time, but how can kindness and chivalrous actions bring romance to a new relationship when you just start dating someone new? First, be thoughtful. For example, you know that you are meeting a woman and she has a small kid, so she will have to call a babysitter in, or she doesn't have a car, or she's new in the city and she doesn't know the city that well yet. Don't overcomplicate things for her. Choose a place to meet closer to her place. Well, probably it will add like 30 or 40 minutes for you to get there and to drive back, but these 40 minutes, it's not a huge sacrifice for you. And for her, it can mean reducing stress, and if she will be less stressed and happier, more relaxed on the date, it will be a win-win situation for both of you. Or she has arrived on a date with you right after work. Feed her. Guys, it's never a good idea to sit on a date when you feel hungry and your stomach tries to send you signals that it can't take it anymore. Or for example, she has showed up on a date wearing a really light summer dress. Probably she wants to impress you and it is rather cold. So instead of taking a walk or a sit outdoors as you have planned, choose an indoor place. Don't let your date freeze. Second, don't make a date just about yourself. Yes, of course, your feelings matter and we all want to be entertained, we want to feel that we are happy on a date, but so often people concentrate way too much on their own feelings, like, am I happy? Am I entertained enough? Am I attracted enough? Do I like her? And you pay very little attention to your date. Is she enjoying herself? Sometimes it is a good idea to actually let your date and to encourage her to enjoy the date a little bit more than you do. You can talk less and you can listen more, because so often guys show up on the date and they just wait for a woman to entertain them, or they listen to her talk for like 5 or 10 minutes and then finally they start talking and they talk and talk and talk and they don't pay attention if the lady is bored to death yet, if she keeps up with what you are saying, if what you are saying her actually interests her. Don't get me wrong, enjoying the date and built-in chemistry is essential, but it shouldn't be one-sided. I have seen it so many times when men have wasted fantastic dates because they were comparing a woman in front of them to some Instagram models, to some pretty pictures they have seen online, to some actresses. They were comparing a real date, a real woman in front of them, to the fantasy, how they believe they should feel on a date. And they didn't enjoy the real date, they didn't flirt, they didn't build a connection because they were too busy being in their own head. Don't be like that. I will open a secret to you. We all like people who like us. So the trick is to make a woman feel special and to make a woman feel that you really care. And if you are truly a kind and thoughtful person, it won't be that hard to make. And at the end of the date, if you put more effort, if you show her that she is important, that the date is about her and not just about you and your feelings, at the end of the date you will have a woman who is genuinely interested, who wants to get to know you better because she feels so special next to you, and it will be again a win-win situation for both of you. Or the less optimistic scenario, you waste your date thinking, is she hot enough for me? Am I attracted enough? Is she hotter than other women here? Does she put enough effort to create this chemistry? Is there a sparkle? And at the end of the date, when you decide to ask this woman out again, she makes a decision for both of you. She tells you that, you know what, I didn't feel any chemistry. And she will be right, because you didn't try to create this chemistry. You didn't try to flirt and to make her feel special. You are way too busy thinking about yourself, about your high standards and your own feelings. 3. Offer her not just your smile or your hand. Offer her your genuine attention, your full attention, which means you show up on a date not right after work when your head is still occupied with some business process, or for example right after talking to your ex, or after the fight with your friend, or thinking about the upcoming vacation deadline, or about the pretty blonde with whom you have agreed to meet the day after tomorrow. Offer her your full attention right now. Be present on the date with this woman. She doesn't have to beg or to ask for this full attention with looking gorgeous or entertaining you or interesting stories, etc. You should offer her your full attention willingly. 4. Some men think that asking her out on a date, footing the bill and bringing flowers is enough. You don't have to try any harder. And yes, asking her out, footing the bill, presenting her with flowers, it's a nice touch, and smart women do appreciate such things, but it is definitely not enough. You also have to be generous when it comes to compliments. Try to pay attention to the things a woman in front of you is telling you and compliment and acknowledge things that you find attractive. 5. Even though you can feel like really curious or entitled to get an answer because you believe it is important for a possible continuation of this acquaintance, Refrain from asking really uncomfortable questions. It is really none of your business why she and her ex-husband have decided to take a divorce, why she and her ex have broken up, how many men she has slept with, why till the age of 37 she never had kids or never married. Don't ask these questions. It really is none of your business at the early stage of your acquaintance. Be kind and think before you ask inappropriate questions. You don't want to ruin the vibes and you don't want to put your date into this uncomfortable position. 6. Change your plans if it will help the two of you to spend more time together. After 3 dates, your job is not more important than her job, and she is not less busy than you are. If last time she had to reschedule her plans and adjust her plans to spend time with you, now you will have to invest some effort to spend time with her. It means that sometimes, yes, you will have to skip gym, to reschedule some plans with your friends, to meet with the woman you are courting. When two people try to get to know each other better, try to bring this acquaintance to the level of a relationship, both of them should be investing time and effort to make it work. Chivalry is not just about opening the door for her, tucking her in, helping her putting her coat on, even though, of course, these are nice touches. Why do men do it? I like to believe that they do it because they like doing it, because they are kind, they are generous, and they sincerely want their date to feel special, to feel wanted, to feel happier. To attract a kind, generous, thoughtful woman, you have to be kind, chivalrous, and considerate. I have no doubts that kindness and thoughtfulness are the base for the quality romance. And when a man dismisses a woman because she is not hot enough for a man of his status or her boobs are not big enough, well, most likely he won't build quality, lasting romance. Guys, I hope it was helpful. I want to wish you lots of love, and I hope you will meet only kind and thoughtful men and women. Right now is the time to press like, to subscribe to this channel, and also if you like our content and you want to support our channel and get access to additional videos that we film specially for sponsors, please consider becoming one. My name is Svetlana Mucha. I'm the founder and the leading matchmaker and dating coach at Diolli.com. I wish you lots of love from Munich, Germany.